Psalms 34, Salakia, Psalms 31 and 24. Verse of the day, Psalms 31:24. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. All ye that hope in the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. We've come to the point where we have a lot of hopes and desires in this kingdom falling as soon as possible. And I always go to the verse of the day to sort of like, after you pray, you're looking for some kind of, you might have an answer, you might have a question in mind, and usually that gets answered. The Lord sends an answer to you. The verse of the day is a good option. If the Spirit jumps in you to check it out. And, but anyway, first of all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the prophets of thy body, and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. Okay, so Psalms 31 and 24. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, and all ye that hope in the Lord. What's our hope? That his kingdom is going to fall. Okay, his kingdom is going to fall soon. All right, all the signs are there, all the boxes are being ticked. If it's like a checklist, all right, a spiritual checklist, everything's being ticked. All right, from our apostles and elders on down of Great Millstone, and all the fruits of their labor, all the spiritual information they've pumped out to the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, and all the people they've woken up, our elder bishops and other prophets, that are part of that body. They're bringing out news on the daily, every second, minute, hour, every day, right? The YouTube is inundated with Great Millstone videos because they are the men of the Lord, and they just churning out spiritual news after news and prophesying back to back. We can see what's going on in the world. We can see what Israel and Iran are doing. They're playing the tennis game at the moment, back and forth. When I say tennis game, I'm just referring to them like going against each other. Israel launching rockets, so forth and so on. Right? And that's going to lead to Revelation 11:14. That's our hope as well. Let's go to Hebrews 11 verse 1. It's a great hope scripture. Hebrews 11 verse 1, King James Version. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All right. What do we have a hope in, man? The hope of the Lord returning. The hope of better days. The hope of being in power again under the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. The hope of not living in fear. The hope of of knowing that we are going in the right direction. Right? And we know we're going in the right direction because the truth is life. Right? This is life. Imagine, you don't even want to say that word. Imagine not having this knowledge, because that's just, you don't want to imagine that. That's just, you don't. As Elder Malcolm would say, you pray daily. That the Lord, whatever the Lord has given you in terms of a portion of knowledge, right? You want the Lord to expand on that, right? And you don't want the Lord to spew you out. Not spew you out, but you don't want the Lord to take the Spirit away from you. Okay? We hope for better days, hope for better days. And we know those days are coming sooner rather than later. All those incarnations you've gone through, time and time and time and time, leading to this point in time. We're actually living it now. We're actually seeing World War III on the horizon. We're actually seeing the collapse of this society. We're actually seeing Edomites on the street. Okay? I'm seeing Edomites on the street, mainly Edomites holding up signs. They're looking like cavemen again, holding up signs, please help, please help, please help. Not so long ago, that was a so-called black man. All right? Black and brown man. Israelites. You know? Now, Esau's do the same thing, and Esau don't give a shit. They're just sitting in their cars and just driving by. And I'm sitting, I'm looking at this thing and to myself, damn, look at Esau's fall. Even in his own world, he's a two-time loser, man. You know, a lot of these Edomites are getting homeless. There's Jake amongst them too, in terms of like you see brown faces around, yeah. But for the most part, right, I see Edomites. All right, a lot of them on that black tar heroin, fentanyl in the States. You know, those same curses that they put on Jake. You know, pumping crack. First, I think it was the heroin in the 70s, in the 40s and 50s and 60s, the 70s. In the 80s came, then it was crack. You know, now it's Marley and I don't know what the hell it is now, but Jake's on some hardcore weed, whatever. You know, I'm not too clued up, but I know that Jake's on the coke now, pills. Pretty much Jake's on everything now. You know, what are they on? Marley, perks, pills, lean, yeah, and all that. You know. But Jake, for the most part, takes it like for leisure, which is still not a good thing. But look at, you see Jake coming up. You see the curses coming up, coming on Esau now. You see to Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. You know, we're seeing the demise of this world, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30 verse 7. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, King James Version. Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. All right? Okay? You reap what you sow, pursuing Galatians 6 verse 7. Okay? You don't get away with a damn thing. And Esau's got nothing but hurt coming his way for a very, very, very long time. A very long time. Okay? And this is just the tip of the iceberg at the moment. You see them in bad situations, they're homeless and this, that, and the third, and they're having issues with their families or their wives, children, or whatever. You know? It's because it's the start of the ending. All right? All those happy days are gone. That's why you see a lot of a surge heightened in nostalgia. Nostalgic shows. People are bitching and moaning on the shows. Read the comments. Go into anything 70s and 80s, early 90s. Right? Especially shows that are really Edomite based. Shit, go into Happy Days. The show The Happy Days. A good show. I watched it back in the 80s. Obviously, it's from the 70s, 1974. I think the first 1972, I think, or 74, the first episode. 72 I think it was 74. The first episode came out. Happy Days, and I used to watch it in the 80s. That was probably the best era of Esau. It was the 50s, where they were at the height of America, man. Where the Edomite man was really, really like on point. And they literally had happy days, man. All they had to worry about was, what their wife had made for dinner in the evening, and what Richie Cunningham, which woman or which girl he's gonna go out, which Peggy Sue he's gonna go out to date that Friday night. you know, or a book report. That's all you have to worry about. That's it. Clean home, everything on point. Wife, wife with dinner on the table. Little sister running around with a basketball in her hand. Simple times, manicured lawns, neighbors all polite, streets clean. Not even a Coke can rattling down the street in the wind. Everything beautiful, like it's a painted picture. Now Esau doesn't have that anymore. Those same neighborhoods are turned into like war zones. You got homeless people living on in these streets now. So all these curses are coming upon them, right? And we see what's been happening around the world. Different diseases, different pestilences. But the thing is, with all these boxes being ticked, the elect can see, the elect can see what's going on. But they're filling the TVs, the news media, social media with bread and circuses, with games, news about P. Diddy. Tupac's been dead damn near 29 years. When did he die? 96, right? Was it? Yeah, 29 years. And they're still talking about him. He's, resurrect, he's alive. There's another, Tupac's changed his image. He's got dreadlocks now or some shit. Who's the other one? Papoose, his new woman, that boxer chick. The beef between Papoose, his new woman. What's her name again, man? That boxer chick, whatever her name is, and Papoose's ex, Remy Ma. Power 105 interviewing, notable black and brown famous people, so-called black and brown famous people. It's like there's a surge in just more and more and more. I've been noticing that, right? It's like Power 105 really amplified the interviewing. I'm sure they have, because it wasn't like that a couple of years ago. It's like they're just pumping out more and more Jake news, Jake worldly type news that takes you away from what's really going on. Jake doesn't want to know about what's going on regarding, geopolitics or World War III or the financial collapse or all these companies closing down or, Jake's is worried about the next, I don't know, Cardi B concert or some shit, And a lot of these actors and actresses and so-called music artists are paid, because remember, the world is a stage, right? Are paid to act out certain scenarios to take you away, to take you away from what we're sown. Like Satan will take you away. Or Jake, someone's trying to listen to the truth. Let's get that scripture. Satan taketh away. Satan taketh away. King James Version. So Satan taketh away. Satan taketh away that was being sown. King James Version. There we go. Mark 4:15. And these are they by the wayside, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. Now, if you were the elect, you're not going to get taken away. All right? Because if it was possible, they would deceive the very elect. Satan can send deceivers in any shape or form, in the form of a beautiful woman, in the form of, you might be, into certain sports, you might be going from Israelite video, then you see something and that takes you away, You might be watching this, Israelite videos at home, and then, your woman calls you, and she says, come and pick me up, she calls you out of the blue, whatever that, whatever situation it could be. And the same with the bread and circuses. That's another way that Satan takes you away. And then you get immersed into the bread and circuses. And then you forget about that. The truth. And you think, then Satan makes you think in your mind, that's just another type of what's it called? The Nation of Islam type situation. You just want to stick with Jeebus. So they're just giving you all these bread and circuses to take you away from what's going. Okay, take you away from what's going on. But our hope is in the Lord, man. Our hope is in the destruction of this society, the fall and financial crash of this society. Okay, seeing Esau fall more and more and more. Now we can say to Esau, just say no to drugs. Isn't that what they should say to Jake? All right, that's what they should say to Jake, man. So our hope is there. Okay. Now, if you are scared, now listen, there's nothing wrong with being scared. Okay, nothing wrong with being scared. That's a natural human reaction. All right, you can be the biggest tough guy and still be afraid sometimes. It happens. All right, but you shouldn't be afraid to the point where you feel that you're in the corner where you've got to really. I mean, listen, if you took the jump shot when the 1-9 thing happened, then you failed the test anyway. Unless the Lord has mercy upon you and one of the elect members are in your household and somehow that elect member gets spiritual power and you can pull out the poisons and toxins in your body, that can happen too. But for the most part, you've taken it, you really didn't, do well so far because you failed to jump over the first hurdle. When the elect did not take the juice. All right? Because they didn't get afraid enough. They didn't get scared enough, or even when they were questioned, and even when they were put into corner saying, you got to take it to keep your job. The elect member said, nope, all right, forget it, I'll leave this place. And then they said, no, don't go. You don't have to take the juice. And that literally happened. There's a lot of testimonies out there of people that refused to take it, and their boss said, nah, you can stay after a little while. Because they knew that this guy ain't gonna budge. Now, when the next situation happens, the elect ain't gonna take the CHIP. The elect are not gonna bend. They might get a little perplexed. They might get a little afraid. They might, But then they know this is a test. Because that trials and tribulations that you're going through is building you up. Certain scary things that you might be in, certain things that you think, how am I going to get out of this? The Lord delivers you. Because what does the Lord say? Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth them out of all of them. Actually, let me get that scripture. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, King James Version. Psalm 34:19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord Yahweh Hashem Shai delivereth him out of them all. Okay? The Lord gets us out, man. So you should be happy. You should be excited by seeing the news. Me personally, right, I know the Lord is doing it in his own divine timing, but it's an anxiousness for this place to go down. So I always pray, Lord, speed up the time faster. Please speed up the time faster so we don't have to be here longer. And there's nothing wrong with asking for that. You want to go home. You want to live in righteousness. You want righteousness. You want the law. You want that change. You want the laws inside you. You don't want to live righteously. You don't want to see how it shine, man. You don't want to be under the, you don't want the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Shai to be on this planet Earth and beyond. You want to live in this hell? Pissy streets, bins full of fucking tampons and all sorts of other shit. Smell of weed smoke in the air. You know? TRANS people walking around. People with blue hair walking around. People with, bright red, fire engine red hair walking around. You want that? Faggots and weirdos walking around. Let's just say it like it is. PDF files walking around. You want that? You want Edomites walking around loose? You want heathens walking around loose? Huh? You know, I look at some of our people. I won't say they're our people, but the consolation prize they've taken. I was watching the Jennifer Hudson show and Marlon Wayans was on it. Or Marlon Wayans. The dude's son is a TRANS, and he's all happy. He's saying, "I thank God and I thank my blessings," and he's just sitting there smiling. And I look at this MF right, and he's got a TRANS son, a flip flop, and he's all okay about it. Like he's like he's living his best life or whatever, like they always say. I was horrified, and I thought, my day. I said, what is wrong with this? And I go, man, those demons are strong, and in the Wayans family, and a lot of these people. It's a crazy world we live in, man. This is the kind of world you want to live in, where you see your own so-called people sell their backside and their children out, just to acquire the fake fame of this world, man. The fake so-called wealth of this world, that the fiat currency, Man, we got the real wealth, man. That's the name of Yahweh Shemashai and the Rakar Kodash and understanding of these scriptures. Now, every Jake may not be, completely versed. Everyone's got a certain level of knowledge. But the thing is, what one mutual consensus the elect have is that when they hear the word, it all clicks and fits like a puzzle, And even if they look into it, like our apostles and elders say, yeah, don't believe us, look into yourself, right? It still makes sense, and you become addicted to it, So back to the scripture again, Psalm 34:19. The Lord's going to deliver you out of your afflictions. And as the Lord delivers you out of each affliction, the Lord puts you in affliction so you can beg him more. You can ask for him more. Because people that have money are not going to ask for the Lord. That's how we ask for, food convenient. Neither make us, make us too rich or too poor. Keep us in between. So we always, we have a balance, and we have the need to ask for Yahweh Shem Shai. And we don't want it any other way. I sure as hell don't want to be no damn millionaire in this world. Hell no. I don't ever want that kind of spirit on me where, God, Lord forbid, where you could ever not ask or think about the Lord, man. You always want to think about the Lord. Always meditate upon him, no matter what you're doing. Pray without ceasing. So the others can have the consolation prize. We got hope of better days, man. And the best is definitely yet to come. And we're getting closer and closer and closer. All right. So let's go to scripture again. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. All ye that hope in the Lord. And that courage comes through the name, man. Believing, having faith in Yahweh Shem Shai, knowing that, everything's going to be okay. All right. Okay, be of good courage, Jake, because this nightmare is going to be over soon. All right, this nightmare is going to be over soon. You think Esau doesn't know his demise is coming? They let you know all the time. They make movies all the time, man. There's another movie on YouTube called White Man's Burden with John Travolta in it. Now they use John Travolta, but John Travolta's a Jake, right? They use him to play the so-called token white man who's got the curses upon him. And I've always noticed they don't really use if they want to use, and it's spiritual, man. When they use, especially now, when they use so-called white people to play certain characters now, they use actually Israelite foreigners, like the plantation owner. So yeah, these Israelite foreigners. If they're using a character play a Caesar Borgia kind of looking Jeebus, right? Or if they're using they use John Travolta to play the Edomite, even though he's a Jake in the movie White Man's Burden, because Esau doesn't want to use a real Edomite to actually have that energy put out there that yeah, Israelites are ruling over Edomites. The way they showed it in the movie was basically visible Israelites ruling over an Israelite foreigner. You know, in reality, that's what they use. They use visible Israelites right? Going back and forth with an Israelite foreigner. But obviously, from an outside perspective, the movie's called White Man's Burden. You know? That's what I've been noticing. Like, for example, if they use Esau, I think Esau hasn't been using real Edomites to play Superman. You know? Because you know what happened to Christopher Reeve, right? You put that energy out there, yeah, this is the son of the Most High, Superman, all powerful. Look what happened to him. Look at his demise. The Lord knocked him off his high horse and paralyzed him. And he wasn't supposed to be on a horse anyway. What does scripture come to mind? I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking the earth. Christopher Reeve was a servant walking. Okay, he was on a literal horse. The Lord knocked him off and made him into paralyzed him. Right? In the same way, Esau didn't use a real Edomite in that movie, White Man's Burden, because he doesn't want that energy put out there of Israelites ruling over Edomites. You know, so they used John Travolta. Now, if you're spiritual, you understand what I just meant, what I have stated. You know, so listen, man, this place is coming to an end. All right, so be of good courage. All right, be of very good courage. We're getting home soon. And like, once again, if you're unhappy or sad about what's going on in the world in terms of the World War III, or the war drums banging away, you're afraid of the financial crash, then you love this world. Then you want to stay here. You know, you're a Sakari Israelite. You want to be here another 1,000 years. You know, you don't really want to go home. You want to be an Israelite in Babylon. Well, we want to be Israelites in the realm of Yasharallah, which will be on this planet Earth beyond. All right, we want this place to go, and it will go. All right. So we hope in the Lord, man. So be of good courage, and He shall strengthen your heart, all ye that hope in the Lord, and we hope in the Lord. Okay. So our time is coming. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yashai B'Shem Rakakadash. Shalom.